What you doing? I'm the AC, and this is Alcohol Anime! Okay, so, in this episode of Alcohol Anime, I, of course, should introduce my guest first. This time I have with me my friend.
Hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Bluegrass, and it's good to be here.
Yes, actually, I think whenever I first started doing this podcast, you showed interest in being on it, and then I forgot because I end up accidentally taking breaks, and then never got around to it. But now we finally did. After it's probably been a year since you first expressed interest, but
That sounds about right, yeah.
yeah, probably. But I'm glad we finally got to. This isn't the first anime film we've seen together, but it is. Both of them have been recent. You went and saw the Reincarnated as a Slime film with us, uh,
Yeah.
and now we went and saw this one. Of course, anybody watching or listening to this knows because it's the image will probably contain a movie poster for it, and uh, I named them stupid things, so you wouldn't be able to tell from the title itself. I do already have the title for it. It's something like is the progressive liquid sword art uh, a double strike? And there's many reasons for that. I'll get to that in a minute when we talk about the alcohol, because this is alcohol anime. But yeah, we went and watched Sword Art Online Progressive, Scherzo of Deep Night. Also saw it Blue, who's another guest I've had on here plenty of times. Uh, but yeah, in theaters. So this is kind of going. It hasn't been a week yet, so it's still somewhat should be fresh, but we'll see how much I actually remember at least. But
Yeah.
since this is alcohol anime, as I said earlier, we're going to start with the first thing, which is the alcohol. Of course, I have to start with the alcohol, and what at least what I'm drinking. I don't know if you're drinking anything right at this moment.
At the moment, no.
Yeah, that's fine. Nobody else has to, but I definitely do because integrity of what this podcast is, I have to at least keep it and make sure I try to drink when I can. So, I this was I want to say a complicated one. It's a stupid little situation I found myself in when thinking of a drink for this for different reasons. First off, is because I already made a drink for the first movie. Oh, by the way, I didn't drink anything before the film. I'm assuming you didn't either. So there's
No.
nothing to do. There no drinks during that. We're completely sober watching it, so I have to make up for it now. Um, let's see. Story. I'll let you decide. Do you want the story of how I came to my conclusion, or you just want to know the drink first?
I think we'll go ahead and do the story before we do the drink.
Okay, so the story is this is the second film. I already did an episode for the first film, also, which means I also made a drink for the first film, and so, but that was back in the day when I wasn't very creative, and it was just look up a drink that sounds something similar. So I looked up Liquid Sword. However, since it's the second one, I was like, I need something similar, or do I want something the same? How am I going to go about doing this? And I was like, I guess I'll do a variation of a liquid sword. The problem was I didn't remember it was in a liquid sword, so that was like look it up again, which I've been trying not to do, or re-listen to my other episode, which you may have figured out anyone listening to this, and not the most coherent the most of the time, and also I'm just all over the place. And I was like, that sounds like too much work. So I decided to look up what a liquid sword was. Couldn't find anything that sounded familiar, of course, because why would it? Of course, I don't write down my recipes for drinks I do because that would also make too much sense. Even though I keep saying I'm going to make like a book of my drinks, which I haven't even got around to yet. I'm going to have to go back and listen to my podcast, which is what I had to do for this one. Went back and tried to find where I would have mentioned what was in it. And I actually did, and I found it right away. Turns out all that worrying was for nothing. So what was in the original liquid sword drink was just vodka, raspberry liqueur, and some orange juice. Uh, and my original idea was to take that and just add stuff to it that made it darker because this is Scherzo of Dark Night or Deep Night, and I was like, oh, that sounds darker. The poster is darker, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Turns out, apparently, it was already a dark drink. However, I made it last time. So I was like, I guess I can try to make it even darker. But then, coincidentally, while trying to look up what a liquid sword was, I found what would have been my thumbnail drink, the drink I try to hide in the thumbnail for this. And I was like, oh, that's what I had. It turns out that wasn't a liquid sword. That was something called a double strike. And I was like, oh, that makes sense with Kirito. Which you might not know yet because they didn't really mention it in this movie, but Kirito is like uniquely known for being able to dual wield when there's not supposed to be a skill for that in sword art. Yeah, Kirito can dual wield, something like that. It's been a while since, but I'm assuming that was. So when I saw double strike, I was like, oh, that's okay, that fits actually. And then I looked at the ingredients. It's just vodka, blue curacao, cranberry juice, and lime juice. And I was like, oh, that's stuff I already have and can make do with. And I was like, well, I found my drink for the night. Never mind liquid sword. I'm going for double strike. And then since I already had the title, and then that was also an easy way to fit it into the title. So the title of the episode came to me really quick. I was like, good, good, good. It all works out. I'm still lazy because technically I looked it up and I didn't think of anything original for myself. But,
Mm.
oh well. Nah, it works out in the end, I think so. It's actually pretty good. And it is all stuff I already had, so that makes it easy for me too. Otherwise, I would have either made a variation or just try to make the liquid sword. I don't think I have raspberry liqueur anymore. But, definitely vodka and oh, I don't even think I have orange juice either. So yeah, it turns out this was the best bet anyway. So it all works out in the end. That was a very long, interrupted me talking about a simple drink and a very probably not. It's just my weird thinking of how to justify making lazy drinks. But yeah, so that's it. I don't know if that sounds good to you, but it's pretty good. It's probably pretty basic, but it is fine. Mm,
I mean, it sounds interesting.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is also. Maybe it's because it's like typical stuff I always use or just always have, so maybe it's not as interesting to me. But yeah, if you think sounds good, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something I'd be willing to give a try.
Uh, yeah. I wish this. That's one of the things about um going to theaters. Even though I like seeing these kind of films in theaters, it's also like, man, can't really bring these kind of drinks in so we can drink uh, while we watch the film, which is whatever. It's okay. But oh well, we do what we can, and I'll try to make up for it right now as I can. But yeah, that's it. That's all for what I'm actually drinking. Now we get into the hypotheticals of what we've been drinking. Here's a fun little game I played in the last episode, which is if you was to make a drink based off a sword, what do you think would be the sharpest drink you could think of?
The sharpest drink you could think of based off of Sword Online. Huh.
It doesn't have to be anything too elaborate. It could just be like, first, what do you think, in your opinion, when you drink an alcohol or a liquor, anything really, what is like the sharpest liquor? I guess I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, most of the stuff that I've had has been along the lines of rum and vodka,
Mm.
so it's really hard for me to tell.
Yeah, in my personal, I think it's just, I mean, I feel like tequila always has like a sharper taste
Oh yeah,
for me.
the
Maybe it's just I'm mixing up a strong taste with what would be a sharp taste, but definitely for me, that's what I think. But then I think of tequila. I don't really think sword though.
yeah,
I don't know.
maybe maybe either tequila or this may be a total crazy stretch, or maybe Jaeger, but Jaeger sounds kind of silly for that one.
Uh, I, I mean, you say that, but funny enough, I've thought about getting a little Jaeger to try to put into what was the original sword or liquid sword drink, just to darken it up. But so I guess I have to agree with you a little bit on that. Uh, Stuff like that to me, maybe because it's just the I guess texture of Jaeger is or it's less viscous to me at least. I don't think of it as too sharp, but I planned on using it, so there must be something to it. I didn't use it though, but so it doesn't matter. Um, yeah, I don't really. I feel like it. I don't remember if I made a drink for each character. I don't feel like. Here's the thing. If I made, I could probably make drinks for, or at least something roughly based off of the characters in the original Sword Art Online. Somehow, these characters are more dull. I don't. This was supposed to be better, and for some reason, I just don't feel the same. You never saw the original Sword Art, right?
No, I never actually saw the original anime and stuff, but before I managed to get to the theater to see Scherzo of the Night, I was watching the first one,
Mm-hmm.
Aria, on Crunchyroll. And as soon as I finished it, I saw what time it was, and I immediately just uh, hopped in my vehicle and got to the theater as fast as I could. I mean, I wound up getting there a little bit late, but
Yeah, that goes into our uh, movie watching experience, which we can move on because I have no interest. The characters in these bore me. They're not very. I don't really like the characterization of these, so I'm not gonna make drinks for them. The only thing I think Kibao is the only one who really gets more time compared to the original series. Argo's a new character, but
mm,
and Mito compared to the original series, but I don't even care to make drinks for them. They're all kind of boring in my opinion. Even my man Jill, like he's cool in the original, even though he's not like in it. But and then they don't even have. Oh no, I'm blanking on his name. Um, it's like one of the first people we see in the original series. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Uh, Dang, whatever. It'll be fine. Actually, oh wait, look. Let's see. I'm cheating and looking up uh names of people because I forget. Oh, they don't even. This sucks. They only put the girls in it. There's other people. Klein. Uh, Whatever. Yeah, he's in the original. He's not in this one at all, which I feel like is weird. Um, I would make drinks for all those characters because they actually have personalities. These they don't. Even Kirito and Asuna to me, I feel like they don't. If anything, Asuna's character has just gotten worse, but that's fine. We're talking more about that when we actually talk a movie. So that's it for drinks. I'm bored of the drinks because the characters bore me in this. We'll go back to talking about actually watching it. You
okay.
were so yeah, you were a little late because you were watching the first one, which is fine. You didn't really miss that much. You missed like one quick fight at the beginning, and it's whatever. I got there. I was also running a little late, but I got there at least in the middle of the trailers. Blue also was late. All of us were running
Yeah.
behind. Um, that's because I think both of us were. No, wait, you had time. When did we see this? Was it Friday or Saturday? It was Saturday.
It was Saturday afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. So I had just gotten off work. Um. So yeah, we're all running late a little bit for some reason, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Of course, no drinking, so that's whatever. But yeah, you were late watching the first one. That's fine. I guess quick. Oh wait, you kind of told me when you got there. Um. ah, Actually, this is one of the reasons I actually am glad you're on here because I've already seen, of course, the others. I haven't been. I don't get the perspective of only seeing these two films, so I'm gonna have no choice but to compare it if I want to or not. So it's gonna be interesting to have you on here, and your whole most of your knowledge is only based off of these. So that's, ooh, I'm glad I just now remembered that.
Yeah.
So yeah, mm, yeah, not too much of a story for our theater experience. Besides, it was just in theater. So let's get. I guess I'll try to get a little informational for everyone. Um, this film. I mean, anyone can just look this info up, but we're educators, so I'll try to educate a little bit. This film was apparently released in Japan on October 22nd, 2022, but we didn't get it until Friday, last Friday for us, but that Friday was February 3rd, 2023, and which means we saw it on February 4th, 2023. A day late. I was going to originally watch it on that Friday, but then I had other plans pop up, so I moved it back a day. Oh, no, I do remember um the what happened at the theater that upset me, and I was about to go complain. We I purposely picked the time. It was the middle of the day, Saturday. One, because it was conveniently right when I would get off work, and also it was supposed to be subbed. That way, I didn't have to go to a late night. I think the night one was at 8:30 or 8:45, something like that. So I was like, oh, I don't want to watch a movie that late. Normally they're at like 7 or something. So we went to this one. It was like 3:30, and it was supposed to be subbed. It was dubbed. Now I'm remembering so much more to talk about. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
dubbed when it was supposed to be subbed. I was like, "The fuck is this?" And I was like, and it's okay. I actually yelled that out. I don't think you were there yet. Blue was also. He was like, whatever, and he also prefers sub. And I was going to go complain, but then I was like, man, he's like, it's fine. I was like, I guess. And it was like, I don't know what kind of complications that would cause if I went and complained that this movie was in the wrong language. I was like, okay. And there was no one else in the theater either. It was just the three of us.
The three of us, yeah.
Yeah, which happened again. It's happened to me before, but uh, is that the first time it's happened to you? Where either you or your group were the only ones in a theater?
That was actually the first time ever. I mean, whenever I've gone to see movies at all, there's been either a decent number of people, depending on, how long the movie had been out. Because, I mean, you look at a movie and it's been in the theater for about 2 months' time, there's still a fair number of people in the seat, but it's not, jam packed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've only been to movies where it was a jam packed theater or it was a decent number. Now, with when we went to see Slime Life, there was just a few people in the seats.
Yeah, which
That
was
was,
more than I expected to, actually.
yeah. But when I got there, I was trying to find you guys, and I saw where you and Blue were, and then I realized we were the only ones here.
Yeah, which
And
is
then you started complaining about it being a dub.
yeah. I don't know. It's now. I was a little surprised it was empty, but I don't know. This would have been at least at that theater the fourth showing, two on Friday, and then this was the second one of the day on Saturday. I'm surprised we were the only ones, but it was middle of the day. I guess people aren't going that often. I don't know. I like people being there just because, like, the more people that do this and go watch these, the more likely they're able to put them out. Uh, Not this
Hmm.
is a movie coming out in a few days for us. The new Kaguya-sama Love is War movie, which only comes out on the 14th and 15th, not coming to our theater. Unfortunately, at least as of now, they haven't. No, actually, no AMC theater around us I found is putting it out. So I might have to, if I want to watch it, if I even can watch it, might have to go to Regal in a different city. So yeah, I unfortunately might not get to watch it at all because plans. Uh, that's unfortunate. I wish it was more than 2 days. Maybe it will be. Maybe they'll be like, surprise, gotcha. Or maybe it'll come right to Crunchyroll. I hope it does. But whichever, I don't know. That's a different film. We don't need to talk about that film. But yeah, there was less people. It was in dubbed. Not, not the best of situations for that. Stupid
Yeah.
dubbed. It's fine. It's. I'm pretty sure whenever I first watched the original series, I watched it dubbed or something at some point. I don't remember, but I didn't want. I wasn't crazy about the voices for characters. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I was in a bad mood. Not. I wasn't in a bad mood, but a little disappointed that it wasn't subbed. I try not to hate
Yeah, I
on
mean,
dub too much, but I'd still do it.
yeah. Well, I know that you're like a sub purist when it comes to this stuff. So
Mm.
when I was watching Aria prior to getting to the theater, I did watch the sub version because, I mean, I figured we were going to see the sub,
We
so
were
I was
supposed
getting
to.
prepared for what we were about to do.
It
And
said
then we
sub.
see the dub, we were like, fuck.
Yeah, it said subbed on the website. When I checked to make sure, it said subbed on our tickets, and then it was still. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going on a rant if I don't change the subject for myself. But it's just so dumb. Why would they do this? That I'm pretty sure it's just our theater's fault. Oh well. But I appreciate that you went and watched the sub, and because for me, but I'm not a sub purist. There have been things I watched dubbed. Actually, like Toradora, I prefer that dubbed. Dragon Ball, even though I don't really care much for it, I prefer that dubbed. There's a few things that I prefer, or yeah, I'm not a purist. It's fine. And I try to hate on dubbed less. It's just I don't know. There's just something to me, at least, about the original Japanese voices. I don't know. Wherever that might be.
Yeah,
Um.
well, maybe purist wasn't the right word. I mean, I do know you prefer subs over dubs most of the time, is what
Yeah.
I was getting at when you said that.
Yeah.
Or when
Yeah.
I said that, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. But yeah, that that's probably enough talk about experience and me being trying to act like I'm being a little informative. Um. Yeah. Let's actually talk about the movie. Let's see. First
Spoiler
off,
alert!
oh yeah, I always forget spoiler. Spoiler alert, everyone. I'm gonna be talking. We're gonna be spoiling so much about this movie, assuming we remember everything about the movie. I do. I remember generally everything that happens. I won't be able to give great details on much stuff, but yeah, we're definitely gonna spoil some stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, you're warned for once or one of the few times I'm actually warning people ahead of time. Thank you, John, for remembering to remind me.
No
Um,
problem.
so yeah, let's. First off, we'll just get. I know you told me already, but compared to the first one, which one you like better?
I definitely like the first one better than this one because it just got everything going and it was everybody coming together for a common purpose. They're trapped in a video game and they got to fight literally for their lives because if they try and, pull out, they will die.
Mm,
And if they die in the game, they die in the real world. So, I mean, I definitely like the story there and where it was building up to. And then we cut to this new one here and we see, Asuna and Kirito have kind of grown close together, but we also see the players in the game are divided.
yeah. Um. Here's the thing, and you may have noticed it too. They talk. Okay, one, I'm glad I got your input on the first one because that's great. Since I did feel like if I hadn't already seen the series, I probably would like the first one more. I actually like this one a little more just because it's newer to me. Because the first one really was just kind of a rehash of like the first episode or first. Is it just the first episode, first couple episodes of the series, but with a little bit of more background on how Asuna got there. Um, but and then this one's, as far as I remember, it's just completely new stuff. But here's the thing: the Kirito Asuna like connection relationship. They mention all the time how Kirito's more of a solo player and like a loner and all that stuff. But he's with Asuna this entire film, pretty much, if they can help it. And that's not what it was like in the original series. You pretty much hardly see them together until like towards the end. They just happen to run into each other and they're doing their own thing. Uh, and it's weird. The other thing, and this is going to be a lot of me just complaining about stuff you don't know about because you've only seen this much. But
Yeah.
Asuna was a lot more independent in the series too. and like just strong woman vibes kind of deal. And this one, she's kind of a baby. She cries and whines so much in this one, and it's like, what happened? What did they do to you? Like your character, it's not the Asuna I know. So reliant on Kirito and other people, and it's like maybe this is how it was, and we just didn't get to see it because the series just flew by. Maybe later on they do get separated, go their own ways, do their own things again. But I was just like, I don't like this Asuna right now. It's just so whiny. And it's not saying
Yeah,
they can't be. It's just it's not who I was used to. Oh well. Uh, so yeah, there. I guess the relationship is just going to be a thing throughout. Maybe they will go their own ways and do their own things. But I did like this one more. Aside from that, just because we see more of like Argo, and we see a lot more of other characters we pretty much have no interaction, almost no interaction with in the series, like Akibao, more a little bit more Linton, Argo, of course, Mito a little bit. Like these are people in the original series didn't really do much, but then we don't get the other people that were in the series. We haven't seen any of the other girls yet that we saw in the real series. Jill didn't really do much. Kieran isn't even in this one at all, and he was like not like a main person, but he was like one of the main people you see in the first episode interacting with Kirito, and he pops up throughout the series. I don't remember. Do you remember? Do you even know who I'm talking? I don't think he was in the first film at all either. Kieran.
I'm
Uh,
trying to. Kieran. Hmm.
I think I'm saying that name right, but it's weird. I don't. Yeah, I don't know what their plans are with this. No, not Kieran. Klein. Uh, I suck at names, but yeah, it's weird.
Is Klein the one that got killed in the first one, or was that a different guy?
I guess it was a different guy. He doesn't. Are you talking about like at the end when they're fighting the boss? That guy?
Yeah,
No, that's
that one.
not Klein. Klein's like, I think he was like orange hair. I don't know. He goes and he gets his own group too. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't think he was in the first one at all. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like that they're doing this. I miss the old characters. It's like a completely different story now. I also don't like
Yeah.
that this. Oh, it sounds so negative. I'll get to the stuff I actually did like later, but I wish I would have showed what happened on the second and third floors. Wait, I don't remember. Hang on. Did this? It starts with them fighting the floor boss. I don't remember if it was the fourth floor boss or the fifth. I mean, or the third. I don't remember them going third into the fourth or fourth into the fifth. Oh no.
I think it was the fourth into the fifth because at the end of the first one, they got past the first floor,
Mhm.
and then you see
And then it's 2 months
where,
later to this.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think it was fourth and the fifth, and then the fifth goes into six, something like that. They skipped at least one or two floors. I wish I could have saw what happened with those.
mm,
I wish this was just a TV series instead of movies. But apparently, the little bit I've seen is like they are some pretty faithful to the new progressive light novels. So I guess it's just going along with where the books do.
yeah,
And this overall film, it makes sense that it's a book. It makes so much sense to me. It's just, in my opinion, not that great as a film. If anything, I wish it would have just been a series. Oh,
it,
was there anything that stuck out to you since I'm on the negative role? Anything that really stuck out to you that you wasn't crazy about?
um, really just the entirety of the plot of the movie, like the rest of the players, with the exception of Asuna and Kirito, they've split and they formed their own guilds, and they're they're led by two different people who are trying to be the main leaders and rally the players together. But the thing is, they can't find a way to what's the word I'm looking for?
Uh,
It's compromise. That's the word.
oh yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, let's get them to compromise. That way we can get them going to the next bit. Well, we see where there is a tool that Kirito has when he finds the flag, and he kind of uses that as bribery with one of the guilds in the end to
Hmm.
try and get them to work together, but we don't see the resolve. There's no resolution to that point.
I mean, that might just come in a later film or something. But yeah, that is a real point because it makes no sense that they would be divided. I don't know what kind of ideologies each one would have that would keep them apart because they're all just trying to beat the game and survive. Like, why would they not just
Yeah,
form one guild? Then that flag would serve both of them. I think that was one of their Kirito's conditions was like, if I think the two conditions was, um, whoever finds if there is another flag, whoever finds it, he'll give it to the one that doesn't have it. That way, they both have a flag. Or if they decide to become one guild, then he'll give the flag to them. But yeah, it makes no sense to me
yeah,
why they're split. Anyways, I do get though, they're being like the bad people. Uh, just the people you just want to kill people just because people are bad. Why not? Even though they know if you kill them, it's not just a game anymore. But of course, but
yeah.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. It makes no sense. It wasn't. If it was in the original series, they didn't put as much focus on it. They do eventually join together into a guild, or there are different guilds or stuff like that. Game wise, it makes sense. Like if this was a game, there would be different guilds. But it's more than a game now, so I don't see why they don't compromise more.
Hmm. I mean, if it were a free consequence JRPG in the real world, that would be what people would be doing. But it's it's more than a game with this story the way it is,
And they
like
had
you were saying.
yeah, and they seem to have the same goals, and I don't know, I don't get it. Oh
Yeah.
well.
And the conditions you mentioned, he said only one of them initially had to be fulfilled. And then after they got confronted by one of the secret agents of a guild, I guess he is. Like, there's a point when they get drug off into the shadows by that guy with the knife,
Yeah,
if you remember what
yeah,
happened there.
yeah. That's the one thing I'm not crazy about is they don't really resolve that. And like I said, it might be for later down the line, but like they bring it up, but like nothing really comes of that in this film either. They have it at the beginning. Their whole plot is to turn these two guilds against each other, in which Kirito and Asuna over here, and that's why they do their whole plan. And then like it comes back a little bit at the end, but then like there's no real conflict with this actual group. I don't know, they're just kind of setting it up just so you know there is a group. In the next movie, there will be like actual conflict with them, but it's like I feel like they weren't used enough. It was only like a
Yeah, I
weird
can see that.
amount. I feel like they should have done more. And like I don't get their plan either. Like they were going to let one of them get the flag. Like why would they wipe each other out? There's I don't get it. I know, of course, one guild will want to be stronger, but really, you think they're going to just wipe each other out just because one is going to have an advantage now? If anything, let that group like lead the charges now. They're going to be stronger. They're still working it. Like you see, I think you missed it in the very beginning. When they're fighting the floor boss, that's a hippogriff. The
Yeah,
like
hippogriff.
the that's the horse and fish thing, right?
Hippogriff is horse and bird.
Horse and bird. What am I thinking of? Uh, horse and feet.
Nothing I've heard of.
A horse and fish creature. That is hippocamp. Hippocamp.
Hippocamp.
Yeah, hippocampus. Whatever. Yeah, that's what they're fighting. But now you see the two guilds come together, or they're both fighting the boss, and of course Kirito and Asuna are there too. So they do still work together, kind of. It makes no sense. Yeah, the whole guild thing make no sense, and it really made the plot of this movie weak. That was the bad. I think really the only thing that made me like this movie more is the fact that it was new stuff and it wasn't just felt rehashed. That was my main problem with the first one. It just felt like they were rehashing stuff. This one felt new. That's the only advantage. Because yeah, the plot of this one pretty weak. um,
Definitely.
yeah, but um, I don't know. I guess I should give a quick recap. Just so. Oh, Asuna Kirito, they go treasure hunting. And through that, they run into these bad people. Uh, they find their plan, put the two guilds together. They make a plan with the two leaders, uh, and one of the leaders can't do it because he doesn't want to look like he's betraying or nothing suspicious. So he leaves Kirito, also a group of people, including one of the leaders and another person from the other guild. They go to try to fight the floor boss by themselves. Um, so that Kirito can get the flag so he can do his whole thing. That's pretty much the plot. Uh, the coolest part is the actual floor boss. I thought that was pretty much one of the coolest fights I think I've seen in anime, or just an idea, or mainly a game. A lot of it was like, oh, this is so much like a game. I can see this be an actual level or something you would have to do, and I think that's what was the really cool part.
Yeah,
Mm,
that definitely was something that shined there.
yeah. Mm. So this floor boss was supposed to just be a giant golem they were supposed to fight, but it turned out to be, in my opinion, so much cooler and a cool idea. And something I realized right away. It's like, oh, this whole room is pretty much just going to be where the golem's going to be popping out from, and they realized that too pretty quickly.
Mhm. The
Uh,
boss, the boss was the room.
yeah. Uh, and my thought was like, it was a weird. This golem was weirdly inverted. Like the room was its body. I don't think that the room itself was its body. Otherwise, it could just attack walls. But it was just like the golem could appear from any part of the room. But it was still cool, and the fighting was cool. I guess the part I forgot to mention that was a big part of this is Asuna got Mito to come join him. That's it. That's all I gotta say about it. Mito showed up to help again. Ben, away wanting to make a shop for lower level people. I don't know, something like that. Like I said, that whole thing bored me. Really strong, and the scythe part is still really cool, but not that interesting. You didn't really see too much. Mm, I feel like it's going to play a lot more cool later on. I feel like this whole thing, the whole series, is going to be a lot more tragic later on. Uh, because the original series is pretty tragic. You see a lot of people just die and whatever. Which no one dies in this film. Uh, I don't know if that's a huge spoiler alert because in Sword Art Online you would expect it to happen. No one dies. Everything turns out very okay. Even their small group. I thought like a couple of like the no-name people would get wiped out or something, but no. I kept my eye on all of them. They all survived, unless I messed up. I keep my eye on them. Uh, which
Yeah, I
after
don't recall anybody dying either.
yeah, after seeing that boss fight, it's probably a good thing they went in as a smaller group that could focus more on just core orders. Because I imagine taking in a whole lot of people and then seeing them trying to like avoid those kinds of attacks, there's no way like all of them were survived. Definitely people would just got taken out. So it turned
Yep.
out okay in the end. Um, of course, they had a little bit of idea what was going on. I think it was completely different because Argo is the information broker. Kirito is known as the beater because he is a cheat, apparently a cheater and a beta tester. Still don't really know what makes him a cheater, but
I
all
think
right.
like in video games, whenever there's somebody who's better than them at a certain thing, people immediately think, "Oh, you're cheating, you're using a mod," and I think that's kind of what they were playing at there.
Yeah.
But no, he's just played these kind of games forever, and he's gotten to where he's a badass at it.
Mhm. Yeah, he's just good. Like, get good. Uh, but I don't know. Maybe it's because he does have info other people don't. But he's using that to help people. Which you see Asuna at the very end crying again. And he's like, I don't understand why you take this. Let them blah 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 blah. And I'm like, shut up. Oh, come on. It's like, why do you let people treat you that way? And it's like, I mean, he's still helping people. Of course, people don't realize that. But stop trying to add unnecessary drama. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
I don't
And I
like
mean,
it.
and like Kirito is aware of how he's being treated, but he's still carrying on his own path. He does, as Bon Jovi said, when the world gets in your face, just say have a nice day.
I don't know that one. What song is that?
Yeah, the name of the song is literally have a nice day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that one. Huh. Okay. It's been a long time since I listened to Bon Jovi. Like, that was high school
Yeah.
for me when
Well,
it
I
was
mean,
really popular.
that is one of his later songs, so I can see why a lot of people wouldn't know it, but it's definitely a good one, though.
Mm. Oh, actually, while we're on the topic of music, I want to come back and talk more about this floor boss just because I think it was so cool and definitely my favorite part. But since we're on the topic of music, I have no idea why they're using music in the names for these. The first one was Aria, this one's Scherzo. We're both music people. Honestly, my listening and recognition of music isn't the best, but I cannot recall any scherzos in this film. Anything that would be like a scherzo, I, I, w- I feel like it must be in there somewhere, but I don't remember anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, scherzo is supposed to be Italian for joke, um, so I'm not sure what exactly the joke might have been.
Yeah, I mean
Was the
it's not funny,
I
or
don't
it's
want to
not.
roast the movie or anything, but like, was the terrible fly supposed to be the joke?
Oh, maybe it was. No. Oh wait, this will fit so much better. There's a group. Maybe. I'm
There's
going.
a group.
I'm going to try to justify it a little bit because this is kind of the introduction of who I'm going to assume is going to be the Laughing Coffin. That's what the group is would be called, at least in the main series. So maybe that's what Scherzo's supposed to be. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, yeah, yeah, no, I don't know where Scherzo come from. There must be a reason somewhere. Anywhere I can find it, at least looking right now, I can't find any reason. Um, but I don't know. Arya for the other one too. I don't know if there's an exact reason for it. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there must have been Arya at some point. That's a pretty easy one to throw in there, even if it's something in the background. Uh,
Well, I mean, if they do keep this theme going with the movies being named after a type of musical piece, they've used Aria of the Night and Scherzo of the Night. Am I getting the titles right?
yeah, they both are in the night, and they both have music. The first one was Arya the Starry Night, and then this or Starless Night, and this one is Scherzo of Deep Night. So
Uh, well,
yeah,
we know they can't use Symphony because then Castlevania would come after them.
I'm not familiar with Castlevania games or
Yeah.
anything. I don't know. How is it? Does it? Oh, we didn't stay long enough, so I didn't check. At the end of the first film, when we saw it in the theaters, it told what the next film was going to be. I don't know if it did anything for this one. Um, huh. I'm sure it's based off
Yeah.
the books, so maybe it's something like that. The next, the book would tell, but I don't know. I just don't know where the music part is coming from. Maybe they just think it's cool or it has a nice ring to it. Who knows? Uh, but like I said, I'm not the best at music recognition anymore. I don't have to do that stuff anymore, so I just don't.
Yeah.
So if it was in there, I missed it. Uh, I'm trying. I'm. What would be the best part of a movie? Maybe the treasure hunting, like the initial excitement of that, or maybe the party. That's the only time that seems appropriate that they would put like a scherzo esque piece that would fit the mood. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's no music. Nobody does anything with music in this. I don't understand. Uh, what? I don't know where they're going for. It must just be for the sake of I like the way that sounds kind of thing. Um, let's see. Uh, looking at the names of the actual books. Um, the books themselves aren't called it, but I guess chapters or sections are called different things. So, oh, is it the books? Because then the books only show one chapter. Okay, so Aria of the Starless Night comes from the first book, uh, and then Scherzo of the Deep Night comes from the second or fourth book. There's Concerto of Black and White. There's I don't know what this one is. Barcarolle. Is it how you spell Barcarolle? I think that's what this. A froth. Interlude, reason for the whiskers. That one makes no sense. Rondo for fragile blade. Maybe they only picked this one because it also has night in it. Canon of the Golden Rule. Rhapsody of Crimson Heat. Uh, yeah, and that's all the ones that have been released so far. Is that it? Is the series over? It's been almost 2 years since it says the last one's been released. Am I looking at the right thing? I don't know. Anyways, they might have just kept it because it also had night in the name. Huh.
that's a good possibility.
I don't know. Weird. So, yeah, I have no idea. I can't even guess what the next one would be. A Rhapsody would make the most sense.
Yeah,
That would fit the flow. I don't know what any of these others. It doesn't give a description for what the actual chapter or book uh, did or had in it. Mm, Barcarolle. I don't remember how to. I'm assuming that's how you spell it. If this is what I think it is, I think I just never knew how to actually spell this word. Uh, is it Barcarolle? Yeah, okay. I'm saying it wrong probably, but yeah, okay. That one maybe, but that one came before. What is going on with this? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's the music or the lack of music talk. Let's go back to talking about the boss because I thought the boss was so cool. So,
hmm
uh, it had. Thought it should have had more phases, but I guess it was cool enough how it was. Just it had lines all over the floor. If you stepped on them, it activated either a fist or a foot to come out and attack you. For some reason, the foot would have some kind of cloud. I don't think anyone ever got hit by a cloud, so you didn't know if it actually was an attack. They dodged it regardless. So it was a greenish cloud. I assume it was poison. And then for most of it, the head just stayed up near poking out of the ceiling with a crest that you were supposed to attack. Of course, you can't really reach it. And then second or a different phase, its head moved, the crest moved. They try to flee down the stairs and try to eat Asuna. Um, yeah, a lot of them kept getting trapped or got trapped a few times in the hands. None of them died. And then of course that's when uh, Asuna got saved. Blah blah blah. By Mito, kind of.
yeah,
I don't know. And then Argo had a big part in it. It was cool. You get to see these new characters really shine. But it was just overall, just animation wise, boss wise, design wise, I thought everything was really cool. Uh, the hippocamp at the beginning, kind of typical, nothing too special. So this really helped it. But besides this fight, there wasn't too much else that was appealing to me. Like it was just kind of weak. I think it was really just it being new, and this boss is really what I really liked about it. Redeemed it, if anything.
I'd say you're right there. I agree with you.
Okay, well that's good. Uh, but I don't know. I still have hope for the next ones, wherever those are going to be, because I assume it's going to be more new stuff. I'm just curious if they're going to try to. I do still want it to like tie in, like the stuff that happened in the series. I still want that to happen and be somewhat tied into this a little bit. But this was completely new, so I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what their plans is. I haven't read any of the books, so I don't know where that goes either.
Yeah.
No, I'm. I'll try to be optimistic and look forward to anything else. Um, do you have any favorite parts in this film?
Well, I did kind of like seeing how much Asuna had kind of grown as far as her knowledge of the world and getting better at recognizing, when danger was about.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, she comes into this, she's never played a game of this genre in her life. And then once she runs into Kirito, he kind of becomes a mentor character slash a love interest, although that's not been officially confirmed as far as a love interest goes.
Yeah, but of course it will.
Yeah.
Like I
So,
don't want a harm to be forcing this like it was in the series, but also I'm already used to it from the first series, and I'm just wondering where all those other characters are now. What are they doing? You can't just forget about them.
oh, I agree. I mean, when it's somebody that's kind of been, a staple of the franchise, just kind of tossing them out doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, if it was a crappy character, then I can understand you want nothing to do with them again. They're just, completely put to the side, discarded. But
Hmm.
from what I'm hearing, I mean, I'm not seeing the original series, but from what I'm hearing from you talking about it, these characters were probably something really special, and we're sitting here wondering where are they at?
Yeah, I mean, part of the episodes, at least in the first half of the first season of Sword Art Online, each there were a few episodes where each one was just like, how does he get a new girl to join his harem? Even though he's supposed to be solo player, but maybe they're just taking that away. But now you have others that just seem to replace Argo and Mito. They're just there now, so I don't know. I feel like it really is going to focus on just these two. But you don't even know yet. But there's Yui, and how are they going to fit that into this series? She's like a little AI child kind of thing. I don't know, it's been a long time. I don't remember the exact, but she was like a little AI part of the game who they eventually turns into a little girl and kind of acts like their daughter.
Hmm.
How's that going to happen in the movies? They can't. They have to keep her in. I don't know. It's weird, but hmm. I don't know. Oh, I just saw a little note. The film adapted the fourth volume of the light novel series due to one of the overarching storylines of the series not being completed. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like they are probably trying to adapt these too quickly, and they should have gave it more room for the books to play out. Huh.
That does kind of sound like it.
Ooh, that's not good. Okay, well,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
it is. Huh. I don't. So yeah, I really don't know how it's going to play out now. Okay, if that's true, anyways. In the fourth volume, they just skipped two other volumes. I don't. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. Um, I think that's all I really have to say about it. It's not here. Everyone listening, it's not that I hated the movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a strong movie. There's plenty in there if you want to enjoy it. You'll find something to enjoy about it.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
worth watching.
yeah, I mean, if I were to give my personal opinion, if you compare both of the movies here, Arya it was worth the watch. If I were to have seen it in theaters while it was around, I probably would have enjoyed seeing it. And as far as this one goes, I wouldn't say it's, cinematic garbage by any stretch of imagination, but I would say if you're wanting to see it, wait for the DVD
Yeah, well, I
or
don't know if
whenever it
I,
comes out on Crunchyroll.
yeah, I don't know if people use DVDs. There are people who still collect DVDs and Blu-rays of this stuff. But yeah, apparently the first one's on Crunchyroll. I didn't even know that until I told you about it. But so most likely this one's going to end up on Crunchyroll also. So yeah, you could wait. Um, it's nothing you have to see right away. Even though I try to watch them as soon as I can because that's just how I am. But you can, I say you can definitely wait for this one. But I feel like there might be stuff I'm missing, but nothing that was too important apparently for me to remember. Anything else about the film that you think needs to be mentioned?
One disappointment I had back in the party scene whenever New Year's and stuff hits, you see they're both standing there together. The New Year's kicked off. They're watching the fireworks, and I can't help but think to myself, you two should kiss.
Well, yeah, I didn't expect that to happen either. Not yet, at least. It's still too early. You know they have to drag that stuff out in anime.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me though. Didn't realize it's finally like our years are together. I don't know. It takes place in. They went into the year 2023. I didn't realize that was the year all that was happening. I was like, oh, okay. Because the first movie came out in 20. Or I watched. Wait, no. I watched it at the beginning of 2022. I don't know. But yeah, it's in 2023. We're in the beginning of 2023. So, not. I don't know if I'll say a coincidence, but just now realized our years match up. Um, Yep, that's all I gotta say about that. But that's all I really got to say about the whole movie. So yeah, I guess that's where we're going. In this, kind of weird, kind of just dumbness on my part. No, dumb small part, dumbness on theater part. Drinks and everything. Hey, if you have ideas for drinks for this, let me know. You can let me know on social medias, the AC Stories, or my email, theacstories@gmail.com. You can also join my Discord if you want to do all of that. Wherever you're listening to this stuff, hey, there'll be links in the descriptions so you can know all that. And if you're on a platform that can go like, or subscribe, you can subscribe, all that stuff. Just to help you stay with it, just to let me know that people are listening to this, because I like when they do that. But, thank you so much, Johnny Bluegrass, for joining me. One, of course, watching the movie with me, and then joining me on this episode. I'm glad we finally got to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm glad to have been here. This was my first time ever participating in a podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me and him talk about this.
Yeah,
So,
I enjoyed it. At least talking about it with you. But yeah, thank you everyone who listened. Until next time, bye.
all right.